Hey y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and today we're joined by Jalen.
Hey, y'all.
We have Scott back with us,
What's up, nerds?
and returning from a long hiatus, we got Cheddar.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Mostly D23, but first we got Game of Thrones, we got Lord of the Rings going on right now. Which do you think would win in a fight? A dragon from Game of Thrones or a Balrog from Lord of the Rings? Scott, this is actually your question. You want to kick us off with this?
I'm just gonna say Balrog, and if anyone wants to know why I think so, I'll wait till after you guys have your opinion.
Look at him being all like justified and shit. What do you think, Cheddar?
I'm the same one. I agree the same thing 100%.
Jalen, you gonna stick up for Game
Yeah.
of Thrones, or are you going with Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I'm probably least informed in this, but just by my memory, I don't think a Belrog is as big as a dragon. Maybe they are. Maybe they're bigger. I don't know. But I'm gonna go with the dragon from Game of Thrones. They can get airborne, so they have the the high ground. They can just drown you in fire. The Belrog can probably survive fire attacks. Actually, now that I think about it, but I think his mobility is going to be a winning factor.
The
Doesn't Balrog
dragons,
can he fly too?
he could fall real damn good. I don't know about fly.
No, as far as I'm aware, Balrogs cannot fly.
Yeah. I go with the dragons as well. They have magical fire, so it's not just fire, it's actually something fancier.
Mm,
And so I'm
true.
thinking like that fancy fire is gonna do something. And there's a big array of dragons. So like if we're going with Valerian the
Mm.
Black Dread, that thing's a freaking flying bus. And I think that thing could definitely handle a Balrog. And then we also have like there are creatures in the books, dragons and worms that are far bigger than Valerian, So there's a lot of potential there, but I mean, we'll have to cap it at Valerian because that's the only way of proof of. You guys got any defense for the Balrog?
He's got some whips, right?
I mean,
It's a dope ass
Just
fire.
work.
Man.
as far as the Balrog is concerned, a Balrog is like a creature of both shadow and flame.
Makes no sense.
And also godly in their own sort of way. Like they're on an order that's higher than dragons. At least Lord of the Rings dragons,
right.
obviously. So magical fire probably still wouldn't even bother them.
Oh my
They are not generally as big as they're depicted in the movie. That was more for cinematic, excitement. But they can also take different shapes. So the dragon can't beat the Balrog by just setting it on fire from the sky. But that also means, the Balrog can't really beat the dragon. However, Balrogs are more notable for their magical prowess. In the books, Gandalf lays a ward on a door that keeps all the orcs out, right? They can't get through his magical barrier. And the Balrog's just like, joke, boom, and just explodes the door. And Gandalf's like, oh shit, we gotta go. So their magic versus dragons' magic, I don't know. I think the Balrog takes.
I think what it comes down to is how dope would it be if a Balrog rode a dragon? Just saying.
I mean, which one just looks cooler?
Fair. Balrog is pretty beefy. I mean, they both look pretty dope, And Dragonheart Dragon wins everybody because it's cool. So I don't know.
And
It's a tough
the
one.
undead dragon. I mean, how did they even take that one down? Though I don't remember. The undead dragon in Game of Thrones.
Good question. Is it just because they killed the Night King?
Oh,
Spoiler alert, I guess.
that must be it. Yeah, that must be it.
Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the last season of Game of Thrones since it came out
5 years ago. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Night King versus the Balrog's the next thing. All right, let's get moving on, guys, because we could keep deep diving into this. Some news from the network. We have the season premiere of Outlast podcast happened this week. We just released the pre-show tonight, actually, as we're recording this. Next Pushing Buttons is Quickfire Part 3. That's always one of our most popular episodes out of Pushing Buttons, and the guys did a really good job on that. And the sloop for this week is a double hitter for 2 episodes of House of the Dragon. So it's a really action-packed 2 episodes, and a lot happens to Rhaenyra. It's a lot of growing up quick and in a hurry and getting married. So check that out, guys. Let's go ahead and dig into the news. We got D23. We're going to start with Disney and Pixar. You guys, we're going to kind of go over these pretty quickly, but stop if there's any of them that you're interested in or, absolutely hate. Then we got to talk about it, of course. We got that Inside Out too. I have still not seen Inside Out. Jonathan, I know
Oh,
you got a
come on,
Disney mom
man.
in your house. What do you think about this?
Yeah. So we watched some of these together specifically because she's such a Disney fan. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Inside Out 2. What I'm not excited for is the trailer didn't show anything new, right? It was just
Right. It was just an
a clip
announcement.
from the first movie. So they kind of pieced something together, but it wasn't any new content. So they did mention that there's going to be 2 new emotions, and so that was like perplexing. In my brain, I can't think of more than like happy and sad, anyways. So I want to ask you guys real quick: in the next Inside Out movie, what 2 additional emotions can you think of? And I'll review for you first what Riley already has: anger, joy, sadness. The green one is not envy; it is disgust.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 5th one is fear. So, and now you got to remember, she's becoming a teenager, so this is
Yeah.
going to be like maybe like teen angst kind of stuff. So, what other 2 emotions can you think of?
What do you guys think?
The first thing comes to mind to me is like more Disney of like it's got nothing to do with it, but I'm like, dopey, sleepy. Oh, I'm just naming shit off now.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, if we're talking about a teenager, jealousy, maybe, you know.
Ooh, jealousy's good. Yeah, envy type of thing. Yeah. I know my teenage years, it's all about that sexy time. I mean, not like actual sexy time, but wanting sexy time. So maybe it's that. Maybe she's starting to get, fired up. I don't know. I don't
like
I don't know,
passion,
that
as an
movie-
passion, lust, confusion. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on in those years, And then also the emotion I fight all the time. Hunger, is that an emotion? Because that one's tricky. I'm like,
Emotional eating. That's
Yeah,
it.
It definitely makes people emotional. That's why we have hangry.
hangry.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh goodness.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch
Yeah.
that first one, I guess.
You really do. Hopefully nobody spoiled it for you, but there's
I
some
edited Disney
tear-jerking
Moms.
moments.
Yeah.
It was a underrated movie. Well, for me, I'm like, it didn't interest me at all. I was not interested at all. But then once I watched it, I was like, okay, it's pretty good, and I'm actually excited for number 2. I think number 2 is going to be good. Well, I hope it is. But it's something that you need to see.
Yeah. All right, well, check it out. Something I'm kind of like not excited for at all is Mufasa the prequel. Because this is a prequel to the live action one. Why do we have to do any more of that live action garbage? There's so much of it.
Did any of you guys like that live action Lion King?
I did not.
So I watched the original before I watched the live action a few weeks prior, and I felt like I was just watching the same thing over again.
Yeah, it's too close.
It's cut like scene for scene. And to me, the live action animation, though they did a really good job at capturing what a lion looks like, they didn't capture what we're used to seeing, which is a lion with human expression and emotions.
Yeah.
You can't express the emotion the same way. So it's just like you're at the zoo watching lion, which their animation was amazing, but it's just, to me, it was not good for this type of storytelling. I don't know.
Yeah. And I like how some fan immediately comes out with their version of it, which is basically making a real life version of the old animated animation style. And it was like, holy cow, that's so much better. And it's just like some dude with some fancy Photoshop stuff going on. I don't know how they do it. I'm just saying. But
Fancy Photoshop, I like
fancy Photoshop, yeah. Scott, what do you think? You excited for this or not?
I mean, I have a lot to say about just the whole list. But yeah, no, I'm not excited about a Mufasa prequel or more of the live action rehash of movies we've already had now.
Speaking of that, we have the first poster for Peter and Wendy, maybe the live action of that, which will just never hold a candle to Hook. So it's kind of meh, at this point. Like, what are you going to do? And Hook's not even Disney, but they mastered it so much better. We have speaking of posters, we have the Elemental poster. That's all we got. It's going to be kind of a Romeo and Juliet story, it looks like, between fire and water. Okay, I trust you, Pixar. We have a new trailer for Pocus Hocus 2. Jonathan, I know Susan's got to be excited for this.
Hocus Pocus, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. We interview a comic book called Pocus Hocus, and so it messed me up on that. Good catch.
Yeah, so that's coming out the end of this month, and we watched that trailer again today, and I'm pretty stoked about it too, because it was just a good, funny movie when we were kids, and this new one looks like more of the same, just kind of modernized for the next generation, but I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
Don't ask my wife. Like that show's on repeat every year, and she can literally say every line.
Oh gosh.
She I have to like walk out the room because I can just hear her talking line word for word. She loves that movie. So I am
Now's the
excited
time.
for it.
You
I
gotta
think
you gotta plan a special date to take her out to go see that movie, like the night it releases. Then
yeah, isn't it? It's
the 30th, I think.
yeah, the 30th, right? It's coming out soon.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I
You're gonna
think
be in
last year
town. You can watch it in Lodi.
Hey,
I will
There
be
you
in
go.
town. I think didn't last year they did like a whole reunion with the cast, right? Last
Probably,
year,
yeah, probably because they were like announcing it, but last year, so that makes sense. They probably had brought them all on
right?
stage for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice that it's keeping it original, uh, majority of it.
Yeah. We have the Little Mermaid trailer. I really liked it, except for the underwater effects were questionable. I thought, but overall, I think they're trying something new with this live action Little Mermaid stuff. It's hard because I'm comparing it to Aquaman's underwater effects, but Aquaman's like heightened. Everything's heightened in that, so it's hard.
Mhm.
There when they're trying to make it more realistic, you can't really compare it to somebody riding on the back of a whale. Um, Scott, what do you think about this Little Mermaid trailer, man?
I mean, look, I'm just tired of all the like nostalgia porn.
Yeah.
Um, like I looked at this list today, and I'm fine with the Little Mermaid reboot. If that's what they want to do. I mean, obviously, it's just continuing this trend of they're doing a lot of live action remakes, reboots, Mufasa prequel. Um, and I mean, we've all fallen for it with some of our favorite movies, right?
Of
I went and
course.
saw Beauty and the Beast. I went and saw Aladdin. Um, but
don't don't
all of
ruin the
these
trend. I want to see Hercules still.
They are making that, Jonathan.
I know. I
and that
can't wait.
that kind of goes into most of these movies that they've been redoing. Some of them not so much, but they come from what's called the Disney Renaissance,
Mm.
Yeah.
which during the 80s and the 70s was a very dark time for Disney. They weren't doing so hot, and they really pushed into TV, right?
Mhm.
And that's where we get like DuckTales
Ooh.
and Rescue
Gargoyles.
Rangers and Gargoyles, right? Like these are the big memories that they keep wanting to hit us with.
Yeah.
We got Aladdin, Lion King, Tarzan,
Little Mermaid was the
Hercules,
first
Little
movie of that.
Mermaid,
Yeah.
right? Kicks it off. Basically saves Disney animation.
It really does, yeah.
It does. Like they were honestly worried Disney animation was going to shut down.
Isn't that crazy? Oh my god. It's so nuts.
And we have seen what frustrates me the most, that we've seen they can do it again. We've seen Frozen and Moana
Tangled.
and Encanto. They do sometimes put out these great original movies, but for every one of those, there's 2 nostalgia remakes. And I'm just kind of over it. Like I
Yeah.
am with so many nostalgia based things. And I'm honestly disappointed because I think Disney can do more, but I don't think they have any real competition to make them do more.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting into the Kung Fu Panda. That's all I could think of from DreamWorks. So, which
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it, of course. I'm not crazy.
DreamWorks was a big competitor, but like, I mean, what do they do? No one cares about DreamWorks anymore.
Yeah.
They got to make a Shrek TV series.
Yeah, Mike Myers is doing nothing. Might as well.
Right?
He's doing TV shows now. Jonathan Cheddar, anything on this?
I think it looks great. I mean, the only thing I don't like is the trailer didn't show enough. It shows like kind of
Yes.
Flounder following her a little bit. I want to see like what does Flounder look like? What do other like what does her dad look like? He's got to be big and daunting, like Ursula. I kind of want to get more of a bite
Yeah.
of the animation and how it's gonna look. But just from what we saw, I think it looks pretty clean. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna watch it. I think all the live actions. I think I say, oh my gosh, that live action, but I'm gonna watch it just like
You still
everybody
watching
else.
it? What's your favorite live action
Um,
so far?
I liked Aladdin.
Aladdin was surprised that the music in Aladdin was surprisingly good, right? And
Yeah,
Will Smith, he had big shoes to fill. And he did it his own thing, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was more of it was the same but different. Where I
Yeah.
think Lion King was just copy and paste.
Yeah.
So for all of these, I'm gonna watch it. I think for Little Mermaid, Mufasa, I'm hopeful it'll be good. I know, like you said, you compared him to Aquaman, but I think it was too short to tell
Yeah.
how far or how much and put it in the animation. So I'm hoping. And who's playing Ursula? I forgot her name.
I think is it McCarthy? I think she's actually doing it.
It is. It is.
It's
Oh,
Melissa
Melissa
McCarthy.
Oh,
is.
that's so.
That's like
that's
really
funny.
good
She's like,
casting.
well, we don't see her very often playing a serious role, so I hope she is that kind of daunting, intimidating, serious character.
She
That would be an awesome stretch. Yeah,
I
that'd
can't
be an
imagine
awesome
her
stretch
doing it.
for acting. But yeah, she's always got to put a little humor in it.
I got to tell you, John, you
Yes.
suggested that superhero show that she's in, and that was really good. Actually, I watched it after you suggested it. I liked that. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't going to win an Oscar, but she was good in it. I liked that.
Her acting, she's just amazing in everything she's in. I love her.
I think she's gonna do good. I think the Little Mermaid and Ariel. I think they're all gonna do good. I think
Yeah.
they're all gonna be great. It's just how much of a is it gonna resemble just the original movie? I like Scott said, like sometimes just redoing things sometimes get kind of old for us. And they did announce a lot of new things, so I'm excited for those too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
glad it doesn't look like Aquaman so far, and I hope they don't do that. Making it the same under the water. It shouldn't parallel with Marvel. It should be a
DC.
new thing.
Do you think?
I'm sorry. Oh, no wonder. Okay, that's that's perfect.
Do you think? So I know we're all saying like, oh, it's just copy and paste. It's boring. But do you think we'd say the same thing if they made it different? It's like, oh my gosh, why didn't you just leave it the original?
Yeah,
Oh,
we do that
yeah.
all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. We
Yeah.
can't be happy, Cheddar.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see something a little different, a little spin-off, right? I've seen
Yeah.
the original. If I wanted to watch the original, I just turn it on Disney Plus, right?
It-
I'd rather see something different. Hopefully, it's a little spin-off, a little different.
My favorite so far has been Jungle Book, and because it had
that
a
is
lot
a
of the
good
stuff
one.
that
I
was
like
like
that.
totally in line with the original, but then also brought new stuff with like getting the honey and stuff, and I just like that one the best. But yeah, we'll never be happy. There's some of them like too much singing. This one, then this one's over here is like, well, there's no songs. It's always how
Yeah.
that.
I think they're overall they're going to be good.
Yeah, I do think we need to mention. Of course, there's been a lot of idiots online and stuff like that over Ariel and Haley Haley Berry. Halle Berry. How do you not mix that up? I think her voice was stellar. I can't believe how good she sings.
Right.
I wish I had anywhere near that talent. Everybody at karaoke hates me, but I think she's gonna do a good job, honestly. And for the people who are confused online, I just like give her a shot. And why do you care overall? But
Yeah.
you know,
It's like if you don't like it, don't watch it. But we're gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and watch it and enjoy it. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry,
What
not
do
sorry.
we're comparing a mermaid, like really,
Right.
Like, and
Exactly.
should it really matter, right? What I'm gonna watch a movie and make sure the movie's good,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if I like it, that's it.
exactly.
And you're gonna complain about the color of her face, but what about her scales? Like she's a half fish, like you're saying, she's a mermaid. Why are we sitting here, judging that? That's dumb.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we do throw that out there because it's obviously something that's unfortunately dominated the conversation when it should be about other things. But that's how
Yeah.
life is.
No, I think her just a little clip of her singing. I think she's gonna do great, and
Yeah.
I'm supporting her, and I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
another
I mean-
live action movie that I was so impressed with. It was one of my it's kind of live action, came from animation.
Yeah.
Was the Cruella movie? That was one of my favorite Disney ones lately.
I gotta see
think.
that still too. Yeah,
Oh, that
my
was
God,
good.
Frank.
I know.
That
Yeah.
one was good. That acting in it, and it was
It's not
Emma
Emily.
Stone?
I don't know,
Emma
like,
Stone. There we
dark.
go.
I don't
Yeah,
want to say it was
yeah.
dark, but it was pretty.
Yeah, it kind of had a little bit of like steampunk grunge, kind of living on the streets,
Yeah.
Aladdin style, but it was
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 she a
fun.
straight rat? Oh my god.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, she was an orphan.
It was more than I expected. Right?
There's a sequel in the works for that. That was definitely a big hit. They're making a sequel to that right now.
Have you guys seen the new Pinocchio yet?
I have not, but
No.
talk about something that's getting just dumped on right now in the reviews. Oof.
Really?
Yeah.
I started it the other day. I haven't finished it though. I only watched like the first maybe 10 minutes, but I'm hoping it's good. Jiminy Cricket seemed pretty good at the beginning at least.
Tom Hanks. I mean, what the
Yeah.
heck, right? All right, let's go and move on. If there's nothing else, we got the Marvel stuff trailer for Werewolf by Night. I'm happy with this because it's something different. It's a horror and comedy. It's obviously all black and white, and it has the potential of introducing a lot of characters. We could get cameos for people like Blade and all these other people that have dealt with the Marvel Werewolf. Plus, it introduces the Marvel Werewolf into the MCU, and we're starting to build that kind of dark side of Marvel now. We have this, we have Blade. We're probably gonna get Ghost Rider here pretty soon. We have Moon Knight. So it's just another character of this other Avengers team that I really like that could be going into like the supernatural world or just having some kooky fun with it. But you guys didn't seem to be so on board with this. Is that correct?
Yeah, to me, I mean, I like the idea that Disney's going to start to develop their dark side and like bring in Blade, especially bring in, you know, the Blade that we've seen in the '90s.
Yeah.
Was it Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I like how that was done. I want to see, a modern version of that. But the film style of this movie was, like I was saying earlier, it seemed like it's a wannabe version of Alfred Hitchcock, and it's just not something I'm interested in seeing. I don't think.
Yeah. It's got Vincent Price too, a little bit of that in there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Any
Yeah, I
other
mean, I'm too sure. Like I'm excited to see Blade and these different characters. I haven't watched Moon Knight yet. I don't know. It just hasn't really appealed to me, but
Yeah.
I will sit down and watch it eventually. But this, yeah, I mean, the black and white thing, I don't know, it seems weird. I don't know, werewolves and superheroes. It just seems like a strange combination for me. Not being a comic book reader, I really have no attachment to whatever in the world is going on here.
Yeah.
So it just feels a lot like really offbeat compared to the stuff in the past. So I can't say I'm excited for it, but I'm trying not to prejudge it as much as possible.
That's fair. Also, just as a something to kind of think about here is there are, I mean, even Santa Claus is in Marvel Universe. So there is a Marvel Santa Claus. There's a Marvel everything, really. We see, spoiler alert for Thor, but we see that there's a Marvel Hercules, and he's a Greek god. Well, Thor himself actually, I'm sorry, is a Norse god. Um, so we it's gonna be interesting to see how the public takes that because in comic book wise, I mean, basically anything goes. You just like, yeah, okay, it's the Marvel version of it. Um, but like you're saying, that is weird and jarring outside of Marvel or outside of like the comic book reading, which you see where that
Yeah.
goes.
I think if they have to do, I mean, obviously in the trailer you can see they're doing a different film style, and that's good. Just to me, this style's a little bit too much over the top.
Yeah,
But you have to be looking from a different perspective, right? If you're in this world and one side you're looking from this angle and you see all these, superheroes like Iron Man, but then you go down to the street view, you look from another angle and it's the dark alley where you see werewolves and stuff like that. So it's just them framing it differently for us to see a different perspective, I think. But to me, honestly, what I expected more from Marvel in developing this dark side that they want to do is a darker version of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
yes,
Like that is such a good movie, a good fantasy and everything. I want to see that a little edgier and darker. Throw Blade in the mix with that, and that would be a perfect like launching point for Marvel's dark side.
what if they do that though? We could see that this could be one of them. I mean, they have a Frankenstein. They have, I mean, Dracula. There is famously like somebody they're talking about getting Homelander from The Boys to be Dracula. Like that would be unreal. He'd be my new favorite villain. So, they could actually a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Jordan was a really good shout out, and they could actually be making that right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, not with this. The film style that they showed in that trailer, at least, looks
No,
very different.
well,
I'm saying
yeah,
make it similar to that
yeah,
movie, just a little bit darker is fine. A little more gore, but
yeah.
that type of movie.
To to kind of follow up on what you're saying there, which makes a lot of sense. This is just for this movie. The
Mhm.
werewolf will then eventually, if he goes into anything else, like if he goes into Moon Knight, he'll just be in Moon Knight like a normal show or a normal movie. It's not like everything that he touches will have to be black and white, but um, this is a very bold choice for them, and I'm happy they're making a choice like this. But
Mhm.
you're right that it's probably off putting for most people.
And we'll see maybe if they'll release an extended trailer later that will show a little more of it. That
Yeah,
might kind of clarify it better too.
yeah. Let's talk about the next one here. We have Secret Invasion. A first look at this. Samuel Jackson being amazing. It's the scrolls. Squeaks and I read this. Were you reading this at the time, Chet? Or you and Squeaks were living together at the time?
No, I didn't read it. No,
Yeah.
I did not.
So yeah, the thing that we like the most about the book, and then what we're seeing in this is the paranoia. You don't know who is really an alien, basically amongst us, and this sect of Scroll are trying to take over. How do you think they'll tell this story, and can they relate an alien invasion story to today's modern world? What do you think, Cheddar?
Um, well, I'm not too familiar with the whole background or history of the book, but I am excited to see Samuel Jackson. I think it's going to be a keep you on your toes thriller. Does that make kind of sense? It's going to keep you on
Yeah.
your toes. It's going to change 100 different directions. Um, just watching the trailer, I was kind of confused on like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Or was that just me?
Well, okay, yeah, Jonathan or Scott, if you guys aren't familiar with the story, were you not sure what was going on due to the trailer? Because then that's a
Oh
problem.
yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I just know that Nick Fury's back, and apparently Emilia Clarke has been cast in it, and I'm a big fan of hers. So I'm excited to see it just for those reasons. I've been pleasantly surprised by a number of the Marvel shows, so I think this is going to do well. But yeah, I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into when I start watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, the little I know about the Secret Invasion is the scrolls can impersonate people, so they start swapping one after the other out with themselves, right? They
Right.
are like abducting or whatever
It's
the
a
different
secret
heroes, or different.
invasion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of like a detective drama kind of thing where they're hunting these down, trying to figure out what's going on, not having any clue maybe from the beginning that this is actually the scrolls that are manipulating the people and trying to find who they can trust within their own ranks.
That's the general idea. The paranoia comes in the fact that you don't know, like, the person you're working with. If you guys have seen The Thing, it's a classic 80s, it's that whole thing where you're not sure if the person you're talking to is a bad guy. And that's going to be fun to play with. And yeah, Daenerys Targaryen, Emily Clark, not only is the show, but she's the scroll queen from my understanding. So she's the leader of the bad guys. And it'll be interesting to see if they could capture that paranoia, but it's a shame that the trailer is not clear on what's going on because this is a very big tentpole for them, and it's kind of the next in a cosmic storyline for them. So they really got to get that straight. It also leads into Fantastic Four. It leads into a lot of stuff potentially.
Do you guys like how the scrolls look? To me, they're a little too extreme. I wish they kind of toned them down just a little bit from the comic book to the TV adaptation.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see them toning it down a little bit. It does feel like this isn't what the Iron Man era would look like, but this is definitely what modern day era where like Doctor Strange does anything. But back in the day when Iron Man was a hit, like they try to ground everything in science, and this doesn't feel like it's a part of that as much anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just a little jarring when you see them. Like, oh yeah, those guys are super bright and
Yeah.
look very different. And, oh yeah, okay, they're aliens, and we know them. We've met them before and stuff. But it's just a little. They stand out just a little too much to me.
A little too Star Trek, like right off the Star
Yeah.
Trek
What's
pages.
the release date on this one? Is it coming out?
It's the next one, so I think it's like October or November. It's real soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go. We'll go right to the Thunderbolts. We have our lineup for that. So this is, by the way, Thunderbolts. If you guys aren't familiar, it's basically the Marvel Suicide Squad. That's how they're going to treat it, and it's going to be ending off one of the phases, and Phase 5, I believe. Yeah, Phase 5. We have the Ghost from Ant-Man. We've got Red Guardian and Yelena and Taskmaster from the Black Widow movie. We've got Bucky, or the Winter Soldier, and we got U.S. Agent from the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. I like this crew together, right? None of these guys are heroes in their own right. They're a bunch of shitheads. It's great, So I am most excited about Winter Soldier and seeing how he rises to the occasion because he doesn't seem like he's had an identity ever since he's been helping out Cap. So it'll be interesting to see if he finds his place. And Taskmaster is one of the most potent villains in the Marvel universe, but was underutilized in Black Widow. So possibly as a semi-hero might be even more valuable. Are any of you guys excited about Thunderbolts or anything like that? What do you think, Scott?
So confession, I never watched Black Widow.
Okay.
So a lot of these I have no idea who they are. I also have not got around to watching
Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Falcon, and yeah, so I don't know who US Agent is either. However, I've always been very fascinated by the Winter Soldier, Bucky, Bucky Barnes, right?
Right.
I liked his character in Captain America, and I really liked the reveal of his character coming back as the Winter Soldier. and his sort of troubled development arc in subsequent movies. And yeah, he's just kind of floating around, like he doesn't know what to do, and no one knows what to do with him. But
Yeah.
when they need help, they're calling that guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we could see him kind of actually become like going into the leadership role in this team, because he's an anti-hero, yes, but I think he does, obviously once he regains some sanity, leans more towards good, you know,
Yeah.
and the person he used to be. And he'll kind of be the Captain America for this group. But you know, it's just a really big question. Obviously, Suicide Squad didn't do the greatest. I mean, sure, Margot Robbie, you know, everybody loved her, but the rest of the cast was and it just wasn't put together well. So hopefully that's just like the DC curse.
Yeah.
And they can do a better job with it, because I think it would be a very, very interesting take on the Marvel universe that, you know, we haven't really seen things from the perspective of villains too much.
Yeah. Have you watched the newer Suicide Squad?
No, I didn't watch the newer one.
It's worth checking out. I you know, if you're looking for something that tries to fix it, basically, it does a pretty decent job, I think. Any other thoughts on Thunderbolts?
I'm excited to see these kind of villains come out of the character, kind of make their own, be their own.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of just the Suicide Squad.
Definitely have those Suicide Squad vibes. Yeah. Are they going to be in the shadow of the Suicide Squad? What do you think? Or is it going to be like something new and fresh?
I'm hoping it's new and fresh. I'm hoping it kind of breaks that Suicide Squad, and we're looking at two things separate, and we're not just comparing them like, oh well, this was better than Suicide Squad, this was worse.
Yeah.
And we kind of have their own identity. But I'm hoping they kind of mold and be their own character.
But you're right. We're going to be comparing it to Suicide Squad the whole time. Like, oh, this is better or worse. You know, that's going to be tough for
We're
them to
already
rate it.
doing it, right?
What's that? Oh yeah, we're already doing it.
it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. If we don't have anything else, let's go over to Star Wars. We got the Mandalorian season 3 trailer. I think it looks great. We obviously have some Mandalorian versus Mandalorian action going on, and we have Mando in between the two sides, right? We have his cults that left the Mandalorian planet and put it in shambles, and the people trying to start the Mandalorian planet again. This is the best of Star Wars, in my opinion. I can't think of anything I'm more excited about than Mandalorian. I don't care about another season of Boba Fett. Andor, which is coming out this week, looks good. I'll watch it, but Mandalorian season 3 is all I care about. Did you guys watch the trailer?
Yeah, I did. I'm stoked about it. They made it look just as clean as the first 2 seasons to me. The only thing I maybe is just maybe I need to watch it again or watch a video analyzing the trailer. But like what you were saying already is more than what I got out of the trailer. I didn't understand where the story is going just from watching that, and it's like I want to see more. I feel like this show especially is just a merchandise machine. Like everybody's buying Baby Yoda stuff or Grogu stuff, even though people don't know his name because they released it so late. But it's just it makes so much money, yet I feel like the story isn't you know explain or isn't how do you say it well known. You know, everybody knows the characters, but the story doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it from what I can see. But I'm hoping this brings out a little more depth to the story.
Did you watch Boba Fett?
Some of it, only like 4 episodes, I think.
Oh, that's a shame. Episode 5, they bring in the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I did not see him in it at all so far.
So like, I think it's episode 5, but basically like the third of the last episode or whatever is only Mandalorian, like no Boba Fett. And then after that, he's heavily part of the show. And it's a shame. I mean, it's amazing. It actually saved Boba Fett, but it's a shame because I'm wondering if it's going to be hard to follow the story from the end of Mandalorian into Mandalorian 3. Because first off, Grogu's back with him. Like that's a big thing that happens in Boba Fett. He gave him up at the end of season 2. So it's going to be very off-putting. He has a whole new ship and it's a dope ass, Naboo fighter. So it looks freaking cool. All kinds of things that happened in that little time gap. Yeah.
And I wonder if they're going to keep these two together, right? Because in the trailer, they do say something like, he took off his helmet. So he's no longer a true Mandalorian. And they're, based on his cult or whatever.
Yeah.
And that Grogu is like a son to him, or he's like a father to him now. Like
Right.
now he's responsible for raising him. So I'm hoping we do see Grogu grow. I mean, I know his people live hundreds of years, so his aging process might be extremely slow. But maybe he can not be in the little bassinet after a certain point and can,
Yeah.
walk alongside him or always be on his shoulder or something like that. Like we got to see a little bit of development, more so in the characters. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, because he's 50 years old at this point in the story.
Mhm.
And what is it that you want to see out of him getting older? Like being able to walk better or wear armor? What is it that you're waiting to see out of Grogu?
Yeah, I just don't want to see him in the same old, just kind of following around in the little egg forever.
Yeah.
So I think him on Mando's shoulder would be cool, or hanging on his back, and just some more. I mean, we see him a little bit of character out of him, where like he'll reach for the little metal ball and interfering or saving Mando with some force every once in a while. But let's move on. Let's keep building his character. Maybe at some point he can communicate a little bit more, saying a handful of words or telepathy or something like that. But
Yeah.
we gotta build his character more if he's gonna be in the show, longer.
Yeah. I mean, I think the idea is that now it's just them two alone. They've lost all their like factions, right? They're no
Yeah.
longer a Jedi. He's no longer a Jedi. He's chosen Mandalore.
Mhm.
Question for you, Jonathan. And
Uh-huh.
should we maybe on our TikTok or whatever, or maybe they probably could do it in a TikTok, explain the gap that's in Boba Fett?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Would
I
that
don't
be
know the
good?
gap that's in Boba Fett, so that'd be
Okay.
great.
We got to do TikTok. Follow our TikTok, guys. It's doing pretty
I
well.
get a lot of information from the TikToks that you post on our channel because like I'm mainly just watching those and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, so I know what he's going to talk about on the podcast, but otherwise I don't go to the D23 page to get the latest news and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
luckily, Geek Freaks gives me all the news I need.
There you go. Boom. There's our tagline. Anything else out of the Star Wars verse? So we have the Andor trailer and Tales of the Jedi that either you guys want to talk about? Any of you guys want to talk about?
Well, going back to Mandalorian, it is very unfortunate you did not get further in Boba Fett because I will agree with you. It starts out really slow.
Yes.
And that was very disappointing. But it does eventually, Boba Fett gets, fully healed in the Kolto tank, and Mando shows up. And yeah, there is actually facts like Grogu or Baby Yoda has been training with Luke during this time period. And he is doing more than just sitting in the floating egg. I'm not going to tell you everything he's doing, but
Right.
there is actually development beyond I'm a floating Jedi person. And so it's unfortunate that you missed that. And yeah, like the show would start up and you'd be like, well, I thought he just left Baby Yoda with Luke Skywalker on some other planet and now he's back with him. So, that may be something that, maybe they need to look into, Disney, their Star Wars verse, because they're doing it with Marvel too, right? There's a lot of things you don't know if you haven't watched the various shows because now they're all tying together and stuff. So that could be confusing for a lot of people. For me, I'm excited because Mandalorian's been great all the way through. I will say though, yeah, there is a lot of history to the Mandalorian home planet, and even the dark saber that Mando ended up getting that is really just not explained, and hopefully they'll go more into that this season, or people will just be even more confused.
Yeah.
As for Andor, it's a spin-off prequel of a spin-off prequel. So could go a lot of ways. Rogue One, I think, is a very, very strong movie and honestly a top 3 Star Wars movie for me.
That's big.
Andor could have a very lackluster story that they struggle to develop, or it could really bring us into just the nitty-gritty daily grind of just being a guy in the rebellion. Like you're not the hero of the rebellion, you're just the normal guy trying to fight for what you believe in, and that could be very interesting. And we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah. Fucking Beans is like chomping on a bone right behind me. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of here. My God.
He's showing off for you.
I know. It's like, dude, he's going ham on this bone too. It's like, calm down, dude. I'll pick you up in the mic. They're gonna think I'm like next to a Snarlack pit. Look at that themed. Cheddar, any thoughts on Star Wars before we move on?
I'm excited for Mandalorian. When I first got into Mandalorian, I almost felt like it was a little too slow. I kind of had to get used to pace.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. I think the battle between him playing two different sides and kind of being in the middle is going to be good, exciting. I have one of the Lego heads that is halfway put together, so if anybody is free, you want to finish that for me.
I've got one in the box still, man. I can't finish yours. I got to start mine.
The worst part is I keep buying more boxes, but I haven't finished. Yeah, but no, I'm excited for that. For Andor, I'm excited for it because of Rogue One. I was actually really impressed with Rogue One, and that's what's kind of drawing me to Andor more. Is how I didn't have any expectations for Rogue One. I wasn't too sure what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't expecting it to be good because it was just kind of a spinoff. So I was actually pretty surprised with it. So that's why I'm hopeful for Andor, but hopefully my hopes aren't up for that one.
Speaking of Star Wars, you got a dope layout behind you with the clock and the Star Wars pops. Looks good.
Come on. Watch out.
That's clean.
Not as many as yours, holy.
That's all right. That's all right. I don't have 2 kids to pay for, so that helps a lot.
Yeah.
All right, some last Lucas stuff here. We have Indiana Jones 5. They had showed a trailer that none of us get to see because they're mean. But standing ovation, big one. And Harrison Ford was even teary-eyed about it. He was a big fan. And then we got that Willow trailer, which I might think is better than Rings of Power, at least. It looks really impressive. Jonathan, I know you're a Willow fan.
I am, and I didn't. I feel dumb. I didn't read that deep into the notes. I didn't know there was a new Willow trailer out.
It's good.
And I even saw a picture when I was on YouTube scrolling through trailers. I saw a picture of Willow. I was like, oh yeah, can't wait for that new Willow movie. But I didn't realize that's because there's a new trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still excited. I love the movie Willow, so I'm excited that there's a new movie coming out, and I hope they do expand on this into, a series of movies or TV shows.
So it's going to be a series. First of all, it's a Willow series.
Oh,
yeah,
even better.
And what the thing to take away, Jonathan, from the new trailer is that they show the little people again, like those little dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're back.
Oh yeah, the brownies.
Brownies, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious right off the bat. You're like, yes, they're funny again. So
nice.
It's gonna be really good.
Imagine the animation or the way they overlay them is gonna look a lot better because it was like green screen from, I don't know, early 90s or late 80s or something like that.
Pretty jarring.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
Oh man,
you've never seen Willow?
It's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah. So the idea behind Willow is like George Lucas made Star Wars. It was big. And then he's like, I finally get to make the one I always wanted to make, this fantasy story, not and that's what Willow was. So it's actually made by George Lucas, Star Wars guy. It was really good. It was odd, but it was very good, I think, in my opinion. Let's see.
Yeah, well, it was what was that? The 80s, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s was a weird time for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Dark Crystal, man. Yeah.
Movies were a little weird, but we loved them. I will say, I actually have a couple books that were written about the world of, it continues the Willow story.
Oh shit.
Like, I don't know, 15 years in the future or something. And it does lay out a very, very interesting world, and some really cool lore. The story is a lot deeper than just, what is shown in the movie. I didn't actually like the overall plot because there were some really weird things, but the world itself is really neat, and I'd like to see that explored more.
I'll go check that out.
But yeah, I mean, it's been so long. It'll be interesting to see what they do with, obviously, anyone who has been recast for this is much older. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that.
Yeah.
Did they say in this trailer when this is coming out? This new Willow series?
I did not see that. I think it is 2023. I think maybe it's the end of 2022. God, I don't know. But I think they're like
I hope so.
the amount of money that must have gone into this thing is like it looks really freaking good. I mean, Rings of Power, they just poured cash on that, and I still think this might look better than Rings of Power, which is pretty crazy to say.
I haven't watched any Rings of Power yet, too. I'm barely keeping up with not Game of Thrones.
House of Dragons.
House of the Dragons, yeah. It's funny whenever you text and stuff about House of the Dragons too, because the abbreviation is Hot D.
Hot D.
It's like Frank again talking about Hot D in the group chat.
Classic Frank and his Hot D. Oh man. I'm now you made me think about this Willow book. I have to see if there's an audiobook for it because I just found out that Tim Curry that plays It, does the audiobook for Lemony Snicket, the entire like franchise. So I went ahead and ordered that. So I'm going to be listening to all of Lemony Snicket just because it's freaking Tim Curry doing the voiceover, and I've been hearing it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I'll have to check that out. All right, last bit of D23. We're going to talk about the campus. Anything big out of that you see there, Cheddar?
I think they got a few changes coming. One being the park, right? They're changing the pier.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Big Hero 6 theme, which I think is gonna be good because for Disneyland, and then it's like, hey, you're walking the wharf for the pier. Which has, it kind of took you away from the Disney vibe.
Yeah, and it was kind of like random Monterey Bay, San Francisco vibe, so might as well make it more Disneyfied.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be cool. I think it's going to be nice to have some kind of theme to it.
Yeah.
Thanos is coming to be more interactive Marvel campus.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool.
It's going to be like it sounds like they're making like a whole story out of him being there. And it's going to be there's like a new ride or something like that where he's King Thanos. So it's a multiverse ride, I think is what it is. And they even show like She-Hulk fighting him and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's you're part of the team to fight Thanos.
That sounds dope.
The concept.
I got it, boys.
Paradise Pier Hotel is changing to Pixar. I think the Pixar Place.
That's
Hotel.
smart because that Paradise didn't make much sense at all. It's like just a random ocean theme. When you're at Disneyland, it's like, okay, not even Little Mermaid, just like nautical.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once they announced it, I'm like, wait, why didn't they do that years ago?
Yeah.
Disney's coming back 2024. They got shut down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody who wants to actually run or walk. And I don't think this is new, but Splash Mountain is being changed, right?
They finally have a date for it. So the thing for that is that it's actually coming out 2024. They haven't had a date for it yet. So Tatiana, that's right. Yeah. Bayou Adventures. Yeah. Tiana. Oh my God, what am I thinking? Tiana Rule. Tiana. That's classic Geek Freaks, and I freaking messed that name up. So your brother's gonna be happy about that. Yeah.
Mandalorian is coming.
He's gonna be strutting his stuff. I still gotta see Galaxy's Edge. I've not been to Galaxy's Edge yet. I'm a loser.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I have a depressed childhood.
It's nuts. I mean, I went hardcore on Disney for a while. Then once that freaking yearly pass stopped, I was like, well, okay, I'm good now. But then they're like, Star Wars is coming. Like, no,
It's good. That's cool. I mean, it's a good experience. It totally feels like you're out of the park, right? But
we need to plan a big trip to go again, guys. I think we got to do like a Christmas trip type of thing, and just all get out there.
Geek Freak network wide trip.
Hey,
yeah, I mean, I'm surprised a Disney nerd like you hasn't been back to go to Star Wars. Like,
yeah, you know what? That's fair. I'm surprised too, actually.
Make Tigro take you on one of his 10 trips he makes a month.
Swear to God, dude.
Right.
I know.
Oh, he's got to be going soon. He's gonna. I'm sure
I mean,
next month or two.
They got that whole new Genie Pass thing going on, right? So
yeah,
you get kind of like the front of the line.
Have you used that yet?
Well, I have not used it yet, but I know that you kind of book your trip and your plans on what you want to do, and you have to pay additional fee to get the Genie service.
Mm-hmm.
But some rides, once you pay for the Genie service, Star Wars rides, main attractions, you have to pay an additional fee to be able to use the Genie service for that specific ride.
That sucks so much. So
it's like, wait,
if you're gonna just charge more for the ticket to come in the gate, and then I don't want to have to wait so long. Leave out other people. That's what they're trying to do. Is okay. Well, if you pay more, everyone else is gonna pay $100 to get in. If you pay $150 or $200, for the process of your visit, of riding rides, then you get to wait less. And that sucks because these people that are paying $100 to get in are spending hours and hours waiting in line to ride these rides. So they're not going to get nearly the experience that you're getting by paying more. So if there's a way to just charge everybody 150 and everybody can have, shorter rides and more fun, more experience, then that seems right. But I don't know. That's
I know Universal does it. Universal Studios does it where you pay extra to get in front of the line, which, hey, if you're gonna pay it, we've used it before. It works great.
Yeah.
The only part I don't like about the Disney one is we pay extra to get the genie. But if you want to do the main rides like Star Wars, you have to pay extra on top of that genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're paying twice just for that one ride. I'm like, wait a second. Why do I pay for the genie if I can't get all the rides?
Yeah. And was the old one Fast Pass or something like
That
that?
was the old one.
That
Yeah.
seemed like
Fast Pass.
that seemed like it worked really good. I mean, I only went once when they had that system, but I mean, we used it on the few rides that we wanted to jump to the front, and then you can only use it like once every hour or something like that. But it seemed easy and effective. I don't know why
I
they
think we need
decided.
to.
Maybe
I
they
think we
want to
need to
make more
talk
money
about-
on it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It was easy and effective, and that wasn't making enough money, man.
Yeah.
Right.
The single
I think the
riders
bigger
where it's
issue
at.
is-
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is that you only went once when they had that whole program because that was around for like years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I only went once, and then before that, I was like 8 or 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't gone in a long time.
I think that's the bigger issue than the genie thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember them having the Fast Pass when I was in, high school in 2003. So
Sounds about right. I think
Yeah.
I think before this last one, John's last time he was there was like in '96. Around
Yeah,
there.
probably.
Yeah.
And this last one was my honeymoon, so
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it might be a little.
Maybe
while.
you'll go in the next 20 years.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
he'll take
we'll
Marco
see.
for his graduation.
I mean, every year my wife asks me, especially like, "Hey, she wants to go when it's like Christmas themed,"
Oh my
and
god.
every year we go back and forth about it, but we haven't gone. So we'll see. Maybe this year.
It's legit
But, hey,
magical during Christmas. It's straight up magic.
Yeah.
Christmas is great. It is completely busy, but being from California, not there now, but and going all the time, I would go to Disney World over Disneyland anytime. If you guys have been to Disney World,
You
I think
have
it's
no
better.
freaking loyalty, you bastard.
I don't.
I've never been to Disney World, so it's hard for me to
So much better.
yeah, I have to check that out. That's hard to say because that's hard to imagine because Disneyland is like just so freaking cool, and so it's hard to think that there's a better version of that. But I mean, they got the bigger name, so. Was it Diana just went there, and she was like a big fan of like the Magic Kingdom and the animal area and stuff. So check that out. Let's dive into our headlines real quick before we go, because we're already going long, so we're just gonna wrap it up in headlines. First off, Constantine is back. This is going to be the sequel to the 2005 movie with actual Keanu Reeves, and Francis Lawrence is coming back to direct it. They're working on a new Karate Kid movie that's in the works. Amazon is making a Blade Runner 2099 series. It's going to be a sequel to the recent release. Nintendo revealed Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's going to be the follow-up to Breath of the Wild. PlayStation revealed Tekken 8. Speaking of Tekken 8, Round 3, our podcast within our network, is already recording next season's episodes. So that should be out sometime in October. We're letting them bank up a little bit. And they've been really good about it. So it's going to be cool. And then Gargoyles, we have their new comic book coming out in December. They released 6 variants for the covers already, and some of them are frame worthy. So those are really cool. Any of those you guys want to make sure to talk about before we head out for the day?
I want to find a way to like get signed up for the Gargoyles where as they release, they just get mailed to me. I'm really bad about going to a comic book shop. I'm pretty sure there's comics I was buying before that I just haven't gone and got the latest one. I didn't get a text saying, "Hey, it's in," so I don't show up. But I want to get set up on getting comics delivered to my door.
That would be nice.
You're just giving away your new business idea.
Yeah.
You fool. You can. There are ways to set that. I remember back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember this. Back like in the '90s, they used to always come with that mail-in sheet, like where you could like mail in and mail order a year of Green Lantern. You can subscribe to them. I think Amazon has it. I think even if you go to your comic book shop, which for you if it's Launchpad, they'll have the pull list, right? Of course, you know about the pull list, but you could actually set the pull list up for a lot of people to be sent to you. So you could set that up. And then if you talk to them and say, "Hey, I want every variant for Gargoyles," they can order that through Diamond Distributors. And so you could actually get all the variants. And I think when you do that, Jonathan, let me know. I'll go with you and do the exact same thing because
Nice.
those
Okay.
covers look so good. They deserve a
Yeah.
frame.
I need like a catalog or something like that, or maybe I'm not on the right email list. Or something. I want to know when these things are coming out too in advance. Like I never know. Yeah, like there's several different Star Trek comic series out right now. It's like
Yep.
I never heard about these. How do I how do I know? And then they're like halfway done, and well, crap, I don't want to jump in on issue 24 or something. So
Well, this
it's
month,
hard.
just 3 days ago, matter of fact, they released like 2 or 3 new Star Trek lines. One of them Lower Decks, one of them's there's a sequel to the Deep Space Nine series. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of new Star Trek stuff that just launched like a couple days ago. So it's also a good time to jump in on that. So like I know Deep Space
Yes,
Nine is Kevin's losing his shit because it's literally the sequel he asked for. That'd be cool.
man.
Maybe we'll cover that because we've toyed with the idea of like kind of saying like, hey, these are new comic books for the month. Maybe we'll start doing that. That's probably a good idea.
I like it. Then I'll get my comic book updates from my Geek Freaks TikToks.
There we go. What about you guys? Anything you want to mention out of the headlines?
I'm actually really excited about Constantine.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies for me that I really enjoyed. A lot of people give it flack, maybe they're avid comic book readers, or whatever, or maybe they just hate Keanu Reeves for some strange reason, because they're bad people. I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those movies that like it pops up on Netflix every so often. It's like, hey, here's Constantine. I'm like, you know what? I will watch Keanu Reeves fight demons again.
Yeah.
So I I'm interested to see where it goes. Obviously Keanu Reeves is a little older now. Is this something he plans on? Is this a project he wants to do long term, like John Wick, or will it be him kind of setting up an apprentice to take on his mantle and stuff? Or who knows? It's Marvel. Will there be some weird time
It's
travel
DC.
thing, and then we have a new? Or oh, is it DC?
Yeah.
I thought it was Marvel. You're right. It is DC. It's in Legends of Tomorrow, which also has a good Constantine.
I actually like that one better. Matt Ryan's Constantine is really, really good.
Yeah, I'm interested to delve more into the world of Constantine. I am interested to see what they do with Keanu Reeves in this.
Yeah.
I also wanted to real quick hop back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And say that so this is the first time Steven Spielberg and George Lucas neither one are a part of this movie.
Yeah.
And after Indiana Jones 4, do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
I think it's probably a good thing personally, just because I don't trust George Lucas anymore after what he's done to Star Wars. Like, give it to Dave Filoni. Don't touch no more. You're not allowed to touch. And so, yeah, I think I'm fine with it personally. What do you guys think?
I think it's a good time for an Indiana Jones reboot. Honestly, start over with a new generation of Indiana Jones stories.
Yeah, we could see him hand the reins over in this movie.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Cheddar?
No, I think a reboot would be cool too. I don't know if I've actually ever watched every Indiana Jones old ones.
Hmm.
Oh, really?
I can-
Wow, they're great movies.
I can just remember clips of it, so I don't know if I've actually watched beginning end.
Yeah.
Now, does riding the Disneyland ride count?
It should. That's a hell of
I
a
mean,
good ride.
It's like the Cliff Notes, right?
Yeah,
Single
so-
rider ride, man. That's a good one for it. You could loop that bad boy.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
and
didn't get killed by the ball, so I think I'm good.
Yeah.
It's one of those types of movies where Indiana Jones movies were all over TV for decades,
Yeah.
so you probably have come across and be like, oh yeah, I've watched 10 minutes of Indiana Jones, but yeah, I probably didn't sit down and watch all the way through at least one of them, I'm sure. But yeah, for me, George Lucas has often focused on the Nazi stormtrooper theme.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, sure, no one likes Nazis, but in this it's been a long time since World War II, and I think that was part of like Crystal Skull's failure, was that it was once again Nazis are the big enemy, and we're kind of like, okay, and you've got this really old half CGI Harrison Ford fighting Nazis in the modern world. I'm really confused,
Yeah. Just give us
so
a fresh
hopefully
story.
hopefully with new direction, we'll see kind of new villains, and it won't just be a rehash of the same themes that were sure popular in the 70s and 80s, but don't go over as well now.
It sounds like it is going to be a return to the same vibe, much like they did with Force Awakens. Like, you got to remember, Force Awakens was a big return to classic Star Wars. It had plenty of problems, and of course, we can never be happy. So everybody complained that it's too much of the old. It's like, okay, you just can't freaking win. Then I guess walk away. But hopefully it is good. And as for watching Indiana Jones, they hold up. They still hold up quite well because there's a lot of practical effects in it. So you don't have to worry about sloppy CGI or anything like that. It's quite good. Worth the watch. Anything else from headlines before we head out?
Anything with Keanu Reeves, I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know about Karate Kid though. I'm not. I didn't even watch Cobra Kai. Did you guys watch Cobra Kai?
I have not watched Cobra Kai at all.
Oh man, I've been watching. Hey, Cobra Kai.
Oh, you wear the shirt? What? Oh my god!
I have the shirt on.
Oh my god, Scott's son.
I mean, I hear nothing but good things about it, but I don't know about a new Karate Kid.
I know your parents are big fans of Cobra Kai. Your dad's told me to watch it a few times. But yeah. Yeah.
Surprised they're watching it actually.
Yeah, they're fans. They actually got my parents onto it, oddly enough. And they have not said if it's going back to Cobra Kai. They said it's a return to the old franchise. So I'm like, are you guys not gonna talk about Cobra Kai because that's widely popular now and probably the reason you'd go back? So they haven't mentioned anything about Cobra Kai yet, but I would assume if they're smart, they'll make sure to like make it a Cobra Kai movie, basically.
I think they have to because I think this new movie is the only reason why it's being produced is because of Cobra Kai.
Right. I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird, I think the show is great, and everyone should watch it. It also touches on a lot of themes. It's very modern with karate. So if you like old kung fu movies, but you feel like sometimes they're a little outdated, like I think Cobra Kai is a really great kind of bridge there.
That's a good way to say it.
But yeah, to make like. I don't know what do you do with a movie? Do you just have a really long Cobra Kai episode? Or are they going to go off in some totally different direction? I don't really know. It feels weird.
Yeah. I would kind of want them to do the same thing they did with Daniel-san and Miyagi. Down on his luck, kid finds a new friend that teaches him a new way of life, and both of them become better because of it. Like Miyagi was such a badass character. And it sounds like they're doing a Miyagi story, maybe. Oh wait, no, that's what I actually never mind. I remember saying that in the TikTok. I want that. Not that they're doing that. Sorry. But yeah. So I mean, I would kind of hope they would return to the formula of master and Padawan, training together. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. But then you're just doing a reboot over again, right?
Again, we can't be happy, Jedi.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I feel like I need to give Cobra Kai a chance, though. I feel like I need to watch it now.
I'll watch it too. You let me know. Let's both watch it. We'll eventually get through it. I know that people are big fans.
Sign up for karate after.
Yeah, I want my black belt. I'll at least get the green belt or something. I'll get that first step.
I'll at least get the black one, right? Just whatever. Just straight to that one.
Just the black one.
You can buy it on Amazon, right? Walk around the house with it while I'm eating chips.
It's just a black belt, right? I got a few of them hanging on the wall, right?
I literally do.
They don't mean nothing at all, right?
God, I love on Stranger Things that one guy that's like super into karate with those kids. Stranger Things is perfect. Murray, thank you, John. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
so good. All right, that's it for us this week, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next week. Make sure you guys check out Headlines if you guys liked the stuff we talk about. We say it first in Headlines. It's been very popular, so we appreciate you guys checking out Headlines so far. Drop us a review for this podcast and any other podcasts in the Geek Freaks Network. We truly appreciate that. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.